Guys, welcome to my live. I want to talk about two progress killers. These are things that people do that basically kill their progress. And I did a post about this a little bit earlier, but basically the two progress killers that I find are alcohol and holidays. Okay, so alcohol and holidays, and why is that? Well, I'll tell you what, the combination of the two is actually a killer to progress. But when people go on holidays, they stop all their normal activities. They don't go to the gym, they don't eat regularly. When they do eat, it's, obviously whatever they can eat, or they're going out for dinners, but then they drink with that, and then they drink too much. And by, after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of doing this, depending on how long their holiday is, when they come back, the whole momentum thing is gone. And they start getting down on themselves because obviously they're not, exercising, they're not doing anything. And what ends up happening, and this is the frustrating part about this, is they don't go back to exercise. They lose momentum and they don't get it back because they don't look to get it back. Okay? So when I work with clients, the one thing I try to do is get them into training as quick as I can. And let me tell you, when I'm working in a gym, it's a lot easier. When you're working online, it works a lot different because obviously they can avoid your calls, they can avoid everything. But when you're training them, all right, and especially if they've paid for sessions, they will talk to you eventually, But it's very hard when someone lives in another country. They'll just avoid you. And so people, once they get into that, the opposite momentum of, they're drinking more, they're eating rubbish again, it's very hard for people to get back into the old habit. Now, how are ways that I work with people? First of all, if someone's going on holidays, try to still eat at the same times every day. So if you have breakfast at the same time, have breakfast. Maybe you sleep in a little bit, but still have breakfast. When you go out for breakfast, try to pick something that's very similar to what you eat. When you go out for lunch, try to pick something that is similar to what you eat. Have a nice dinner. And I'm doing this, and I'm also going to record it, by the way. So I'll put this up later on. And so momentum is definitely something that people lose when they go on holidays. If you've got anything that you'd like to contribute, Valentinovsky, mate, by all means, contribute away anything you want to ask about it because, I answer questions as well. This is a live where I talk and I answer. So if you've got a question to do with weight training, nutrition, momentum killers, by all means, ask away, man, and I will answer your questions. That's what I do. I do it on TikTok and I do it also on here. And I do live sometimes on Instagram, so I give people good information to help them out. But definitely holidays and alcohol are two momentum killers. People go out and they drink. You are what, man? Valentovsky, man, I'm not used to trolls in YouTube, so if people are trolling me, I get rid of them. I do it on TikTok, but if you want to contribute positively to this live session, man, by all means, man. But definitely when I've got a client and when they go on holidays, the first thing I want to do is get them back. I want to get them back into training as quick as I can. So yeah, I want people to come back into training. Okay, I want them to actually be back in training because it's important that people get that momentum back. If people are not getting momentum, faster as soon as they come back from holidays, the longer they're not training, the harder it is to start again. And I've seen people make some great progress. They've trained with me for 3 months, 6 months. They've lost, 10, 20 kilograms. They're looking great. They're training away. They're really enjoying the training. They go on holidays. And what do you know? they're completely lost it, and it's very hard for them to get it back. Mainly because it's not a habit enough for them to come back to training, okay? And because training isn't important enough to them. So if I'm trying to turn someone's habits around, what I really like to do with people is I actually like to create these habits and keep them going, keep moving these habits through, get them training, get them moving regularly, get them going for walks, get them, eating regular times a day, whether they're working, whether they're not working. And once they do that, then I can start to, work with them, okay? So it is really important for me that when I work with someone and they're hitting the progress killers, they're drinking a lot, or they're going on holidays, all right, I want them back into training. I want to get them started again. I want them to actually get that momentum going again, because the loss of momentum is the worst thing. People call it motivation, I call it momentum. If you don't have momentum, what's driving you? People have goals all the time, but then once they come back from holidays, they forget their goals because they're having fun. They're eating, they're drinking, they're not exercising, and they forget the benefits of those things, okay? And they're beneficial. Exercising makes you feel good. When people lose that feeling good and then they start drinking and eating foods that, making them feel sort of, the nice tasting foods, by all means. Green tea is good, man. Drink green tea. Obviously not too much green tea. Sometimes it can have, potential bad effects, but no, green tea is great. I never drink alcohol or smoke or drugs, right? That is awesome. Don't drink, don't smoke. Do you train at the gym? And why do you call yourself the reluctant gamer? What are you reluctant about? That would be interesting to know that. Why do you call yourself the reluctant gamer? You don't like gaming? Mate, gym would be a good thing. Even, do you walk much? Do you get out and walk? Do you play sport? Do you do anything? You call yourself the reluctant gamer. I wonder what your habits are. What do you do? But yeah, look, guys, if you're going on holidays, my suggestion is do a little bit of training, even if it's 2 or 3 sessions. If the hotel that you're staying in has a gym, great. If there's a gym down the road, great, go to the gym. Not every day, but just a couple of times a day. Or if it's something that may, inflict on family and things you got to do, go first thing in the morning. Home push-ups and weight training, but need to start gym and do cardio. So start it, man. But why do you call yourself the reluctant gamer? You used to have a game addiction. Okay. So yeah. So obviously you get a bit of an endorphin hit from playing video games, yeah? So, I mean, obviously that's not good when you're doing with drugs as well, because you start to get addictions to drugs as well. Mate, that same addiction can come with weight training as well. If you start doing weight training, you might actually get addicted to it. But yeah, I game 20 minutes a day, if that's good. I don't play any games, man. I spend a lot of time on social media helping people. Plus, I also have clients that I work with with programming and coaching. But guys, let's get back to, I guess, what the whole point is that, momentum is something that we need to have. Momentum in everything that we do. If you don't have momentum, if you lose momentum, then by all means, you've got to start to work on getting it back. And the first thing you need to do is get into the gym. I used to have cannabis addiction 10 years straight. I'll never go back. Cannabis addiction is one of those things that a lot of people don't realize can actually happen. I've seen a lot of people over the years, and they say, I just smoke a little bit of weed, but when they say a little bit of weed, they're smoking it in the mornings, they're smoking it at night time. And just like alcohol, they use it for, they say, oh, a couple of drinks relaxes me. But it's not a couple of drinks. It's 5 or 6 drinks. There's people that I've worked with in the past that I've just said to them, like especially with the drinking part, when they say, I stopped drinking completely, do you think that's a good idea? Hell yeah, it's a great idea. And they say, oh, look, I get addicted to alcohol, so don't drink. But look, a lot of people that go on holidays who don't drink for a long period of time, they go on holidays and they start drinking again. And man, does it leave them in a depressed state. It really does. So yeah, drinking, alcohol, smoking cannabis and all that, yeah, they're momentum killers, or they actually prevent you getting any sort of momentum. I rather use healthy things to relax me. I want healthy, clean life. So what are healthy things that you do? Now I'm going to be on here about another 4 minutes, and then I'm going to go back to TikTok for about 30 minutes, and then I've got a client. So yeah, if there's anyone else that's got questions that's watching this, by all means, I do this regularly on TikTok. I get a lot more response on TikTok. On this platform, I try to talk specific topics, but definitely holidays and alcohol are 2 momentum killers. And yes, I have seen people smoke weed, and that is a momentum killer. But definitely anything that can contribute to you and not actually, being productive in life is going to kill momentum or prevent it from actually starting. So if anyone's out there, what's a momentum killer that you have? If it's the 2 things I mentioned, holidays and alcohol, by all means, let me know. But tell me what things prevent your momentum in life. I'm on here for 3 more minutes and then I'm off. So yeah, take it easy if you've just left. But yeah, I mean, it's very quiet on this one. Guys, I'm actually going to cut it right there. You have a good day. If you want to follow me, by all means follow me, subscribe. I put a lot of videos on here. I've got a new one that I'm going to put up today talking about thyroid and all the different problems with thyroid. So if there's no more questions, I will be out. Nervous to start in the gym. Mate, I'm a coach. I help people start in the gym. So maybe go to one of my posts, leave a comment. I will get you into it if that's what you want to do. I can help you with that. That's what I do with people. I help them get into training and try to take away the nervous part of it. I'm going to leave it at that. So yeah, if anyone wants to make any further comments quickly, otherwise I'm going to leave this live and I'm going to go back to TikTok. I'm going to come back tomorrow. But yeah, if you want to make any comments on my posts and subscribe to me, that will help me out. But leave a comment on my post and I'll actually, and we can have a conversation about when I'm coming back. Take it easy, guys, and I will be back on tomorrow.